Hello riders, welcome to Cycle Training with Trinity. My name is Trinity and today we have a 1-hour VO2 Max surprise session. So go ahead, get settled on your bike and let's get started. All right, so go ahead, find a super easy gear for these first 5 minutes. We're just focusing on waking up our legs, getting ready to do the work today, but we're not in a working stage yet. Right now we should be in zone 1, feeling like a 1 or 2 out of 10, super light work here. Almost not even feeling the pedals underneath our feet. That's where we're starting out for these first few minutes. Now, you might have clicked on this video a little cautious, wondering what the heck is a VO2 Max surprise workout. Well, so far this has been one of my favorites. It does have you work hard. We're gonna be in our VO2 Max zone, pushing those higher zones throughout our workout today. But the great news is that these intervals are super short. You're probably seeing this on screen now, but you also have this to reference to. Our longest interval at zone 4 or higher is 2 minutes long. So we're gonna be holding these efforts, playing around with the speed a little bit to spice things up. Every 2 reps that we have, we'll change our speed. And so you have the opportunity to shake things up, reset your focus, and we're gonna make it through this hour together. That's the other piece of good news. I have workouts that are longer than an hour, but fortunately this one is only an hour. And we'll have the opportunity as well to start to warm up, to have a little ramp up after this to make sure our legs are ready to take on these efforts. As we get ramped up, I'll probably be talking a lot to make sure that together as a group, our legs are getting warmed up and that we're finding the right zones together. But what I'll note now is for these efforts, the body of our workout will primarily be up in zones 4, 5, and 6. And I'm gonna give us the opportunity to stand. This workout does incorporate kind of that standing climb mentality, but if standing is not for you, then just remain seated on the bike. Standing is optional. It's not a requirement to do this workout well or anything like that. So do what your body and your bike allows you to do. I'll be honest, in most of my classes, I'm on an actual spin bike. So riding on this baby, she's usually outdoors, but I have her inside for some of these videos. It might look a little bit different than how taking this bike outside and doing an actual standing climb would look like, or if I had a spin bike here, the transitions for that kind of ride. So that being said, these videos, all of our training is just work in progress. There's no pressure to hit things right on the mark. I'll call things out like cadence ranges and obviously our zones as well as goals for us. That's why we're here, that's why we're training. But at the end of the day, it's doing your best. Every minute that you're on the bike and cycling is making you stronger. And regardless of if it's a perfect minute or an imperfect minute, you're still getting stronger as you go. So about a minute left here, still keeping those easy gears. And right now this is zone 1. This is like your recovery zone. You could basically be here all day. When we get into the next minute, we're gonna edge up to zone 2, which should still feel easy, but just start engaging our legs a little bit. And then through the ramp up, we'll have opportunities to touch zone 3, 4, 5, and even 6, which is where we'll be today. So building that into our warm up so that by the time the main reps come around, we're ready for it. But for now, you might feel your body warming up just a bit, especially if you didn't start on the bike today. And that's the feeling I'm hoping for, just getting your legs used to spinning around on the bike. As we start this next chunk, I'm just gonna have you look for 80 RPM, because that is where we're gonna start our first set. And this may feel pretty slow, especially for more advanced riders. Once you're down at 80 RPM, if you use the FTP framework, go ahead and find zone 2. We'll be spending 2 minutes here. If FTP means nothing to you and you're like, Trini, what do I do? You're just looking to edge on enough gear on top of that 80 RPM so that you feel just a little bit of support underneath your feet through the pedals. Really where that should get you is a 3 to a 4 out of 10. Definitely an easy zone. If 1 is super easy, 10 is super hard, 5 is neither. We're still on the easy side of that scale, but feeling just a little bit of effort coming through those pedals now. Zone 2 really should feel like a multi-hour kind of pace, a multi-hour effort that you can hold. So as you play around with your gear, start to figure out what that looks like. Again, we're not here to be perfect. And throughout the next few minutes, once we get to the top of this minute, we're going to add power, work our way up through those zones, basically a minute at a time. And we're gonna keep our pace, because again, 80 RPM is where we're gonna do our entire first set, or first 2 sets. And so instead, we're gonna add resistance. So getting ready just to edge on a little bit of resistance. Our next target is gonna be zone 3, which will feel like a 5 out of 10. That's really what we're looking for. So in just a few seconds, we'll add some gear. And here we go. Nice, take a few seconds to settle into this. We spent 2 minutes in zone 2, but we're only gonna spend a minute here in zone 3 before we keep moving up the ladder, and we'll spend a minute in these zones moving forward. So as your body starts to get used to this extra resistance, feels like a nice 5 out of 10. Not hard just yet. I like to call the tempo zone conversational pace. You can be sweating and you can be taking deeper, more intentional breaths. You could bike over an hour here, and really that feeling is you could have a conversation with your neighbor if you needed to. So holding this for 10 more seconds, then we'll get our next gear on and get up to zone 4. Here we go. Add a gear, or add however many gears you need to get up to that next level of effort. And try to keep your cadence right at 80 RPM. Holding this now for a minute. And this is where you start to feel the work come in. Hitting a nice 6 to 7 out of 10. Once we're here long enough, you'll definitely start to sweat. For FTP people, FTP nerds, this is your FTP. Zone 4 indicates the power that you can hold on the bike for 1 hour if we did this all the way through. Good news is we'll only be in zone 4 for 2 minutes at a time, intersperse things with breaks and recovery, but not before we climb up to zones 5 and 6. So we have 1 more full minute coming up. Next is zone 5. Get your next gear on and hold that 80 RPM. This is creeping up closer to that 8 out of 10. Feeling that effort start to kick in. Does not feel easy anymore. We could probably only hold zone 5 for less than an hour, probably 30 to 45 minutes straight. And it feels like hard work. The last piece of good news I'll have for you, we are going up to zone 6 for this ramp up, just to see how it feels and get used to it. But I'll only make you stay there for 30 seconds, and then we'll take it down, because this will feel like hard work, inching into that 9 out of 10 territory. Are you ready? Let's go. One more gear on. I'm even having to scale up the gears on my bike here. Hold on to that 80 RPM. You're watching me in this warm up, figuring out what my pace looks like. And my trainer's not perfect either, so trying to figure out some of this work. And go ahead, take all those gears off. I spent a lot of that time just trying to figure out what gears were what on my bike, but hopefully got to a place where you're feeling that hard work click in, kick in. And we'll be back there 8 total times through our workout today. But again, we're only there for 30 seconds at a time, and it's pretty immediately followed up by a 90-second recovery. So when we do get there, I want you to be able to kind of give it your all in a way that's manageable for our hour together. You have about 45 seconds here. Catch your breath. Get a good drink of water before we hop into our very first set. And as a refresher, our first 2 sets will be at 80 RPM, where we've been warming up, so that is convenient. And when the top of the minute starts, we're in 80 RPM and we're getting right into zone 4. So that feeling that you had, pushing at that comfortably hard level, that's where I want you to be. If you don't find it right away, that's okay. We have 2 full minutes there, so don't even worry about it. But all right, here comes our first interval. Find that 80 RPM, and then add the gears that you need to get to that 6 or 7 feeling out of 10, comfortably hard. And we're gonna be here for 2 minutes. These first 2 sets in particular are just for settling in. This will be the slowest pace that we go for this ride. And after this, we'll start adding speed to shake things up just a little bit. But I want to note now, and I should say this again later, even when we add speed, we're not adding power. Naturally, if I were to do nothing else right here other than add speed, that would make my body work harder and add power into the bike. So in the future, later in this ride, when we add power, we're going to be taking away gear. So this gives us the opportunity to work out different parts of our body, primarily cardio and strength. Right now, this is strength heavy. Our body's moving slow, our legs are pushing more resistance. So this is the strength focused part of our work tonight. We're only here for about 30 more seconds, and then we're keeping our cadence, and we're going to get up to the next zone, adding a gear, adding a handful of gears, whatever you need to get up to that zone 5, 7 to 8 effort out of 10. So start thinking about whatever gear you need depending on how your bike operates. We want to see if we can make this a good and smooth transition. Just trying it out. Let's go ahead. Get that next gear on. You'll feel more of a grind. And you do have the option here in zone 5 to stand as well. I might do that for this next minute. And like I said at the start, standing's always optional. What you'll notice when you stand is that your body immediately wants to slow down, and that's okay. I don't know if I've seen really anybody hold 80 RPM standing up out of the saddle. So while you're standing, let yourself find that slower pace, but still feel that heightened effort. All right, coming up, 30 seconds in zone 6. Be ready to add that last gear, and let's push for 30. Come on. Feeling that heavy effort through your pedals. If you're standing, pushing down through your pedals towards the floor, and we're gonna be done with this in 10 seconds. So finish strong, then we'll get a 90-second recovery. 3, 2, 1, recover. Take some gears off. Find some time to breathe. Let your legs spin easy here for the next 90 seconds. No rules for me. Use this time as you like. Get some water, towel off if you have one, and just reset. Nice job on that first one. How'd it feel? That first set is definitely just for getting used to the effort that you're gonna be putting out into the bike. Again, not a perfect rep by any means. I'm still clunking around with my trainer cassette, but still feeling that work and getting as close as you can to those zones and to that effort level. The nice thing about doing 2 sets per same RPM is that we'll be back in 80 RPM, which means we essentially get to try again. No set's gonna be perfect on our first try, so just taking what we learned the first time around and implementing it here. So we're gonna get ready to get back there in 10. Go ahead and find those gears you need for zone 4. Make sure you're right at 80 RPM, and we're here for 2 minutes. Nice, keeping that breathing under control. Zone 4 will still feel like work, but compared to those 30 seconds in zone 6, might feel pretty good in comparison. When we are at zone 4, we should definitely feel our legs working. Our legs are pushing through the pedals. Again, since these will be our slowest reps of the night, feeling heavier work through our legs specifically. We will have the opportunity to speed things up down the road. If you came here looking for a cardio workout, you'll find one, trust me. But for now, getting that heavy engagement through our legs. Feeling that this spot is slightly more difficult than it is easy. And again, if you're a more experienced rider, or if you have FTP, you'll know that holding this for 1 hour straight would exhaust you. 40 seconds left here. Hopefully at this point you're feeling pretty comfortable with zone 4 at the very least at 80 RPM. Now that we've been here for a few minutes. And again, as we prepare to go up zones towards zone 5, the only thing you need to change is your gear. RPM is our constant, gears are variable. And make the decision now if you're gonna want to sit or stand. I might take this one just to sit because my trainer was being a little weird that last round. But go ahead, make your decision, add the gears that you need, and then start to feel that heavier push. All the while as you ease into this next minute, and it's a minute only, feeling more work go through your body. Even though this is more strength focused, you're feeling that effort catch up to your heart and your lungs, and they are certainly putting in the work here. Hold this for another 30. If you decide to stay sitting for zone 5, like myself, you also have the opportunity to stand up for our 30 seconds in zone 6. Again, this is your workout, one of our more variable ones for sure, but giving you the opportunity to get that work however you feel like it. Getting ready to add gear in 3. Let's go. Gear on for 30 seconds, come on. And all you have to do with your pace, if you're sitting, is to not let it slip. If you're standing, just look for that heavy effort just below your all out. We're hovering around 8 to 9 out of 10 for just 8 more seconds. So stay strong, push through. We'll get to recover shortly. And there it is. Take off all your gears. Let your legs spin free for 90 seconds. Whew. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm sweating big time with this one. I did this workout live in my class the other day, and by the end of it, there was like a little mini puddle right around the base of my spin bike in class. But excellent, guys. Those were the first 2 sets of the ride. You're already a fourth of the way done with our main intervals for tonight, for today. Our next 2 sets, which will make up that first 4x chunk before we get to the halfway point of our workout. These next 2 sets will be at 90 RPM. So adding a little bit of speed, and as I mentioned, you'll notice that when you add speed, you don't need to add quite as much gear, because the more speed you add, the less gear you need to get to that same amount of power output or effort into the bike. So go ahead and get ready for this next one. Getting your legs up to 90 RPM, which you'll feel faster. And let's go ahead. Add those gears that you need to get back to zone 4, or feel for that comfortably hard, comfortably difficult level, and stay here for 2 minutes. For these next 2 sets, we've gotten the first 2 out of the way. We've kind of shaken things out, figured out what these efforts might generally feel like, made some minor tweaks and adjustments. For these next 2, starting to think about our form on the bike. I always talk about form during my workouts as often as I can, because it's so important to how you ride and the kinds of rides that you're having, and then the quality of them. You could be on the bike, but if you're hanging off sideways, it's probably not the best ride you could ever have. And also just the fact that you're using energy. You're spending and burning calories to ride the bike. So might as well make your energy mean something. So as your legs are going around the bike here, and they're putting in work, you should feel that engagement in the tops of your legs, pushing down towards the ground through your pedals. And then once they're down at the ground, or as close to the ground as they're gonna get, you'll feel them sweeping through the bottom arc of the pedal. And you can kind of picture yourself, if there was a spoon sticking off the back of your cleat or your shoe, scooping up something good like ice cream or cereal with the back of your shoe. So thinking about that, holding that thought, and getting ready to add some gear. Let's go. Zone 5 for 1 minute. I'm trying to stand again, and it should feel more difficult than those 2 minutes that we just did. And I know my legs have definitely slowed down, but that doesn't mean I'm not putting in the work. Feeling my legs work harder to push through these pedals. And you only need to hang out here for another 30 seconds. Then we have our last 30 in zone 6. So keep breathing here. That's an important feature about these rides. Man, this bike does not like when I stand up out of it. I may go back to sitting after this, but I'm gonna push through for now. Getting ready to add your one more gear and hold for 30 seconds. Let's go. Last gear on, pushing, holding whatever pace you are, steady. From the last little interval through this one and through right now till the end. 10 more seconds, let's go. And take a seat. Take all those gears off. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Get back to that easy gear. Man, standing was way less fun than sitting. Easy pace for another minute. Allow yourself breathe. Find your breath. Find some water, which is what I'm gonna do. Slowing your heart rate down. One more set until we're at the halfway point where we get to do some zone 3 tempo work. So we have about 10 seconds left. If you're feeling ready, come on, join me, get back up to 90 RPM. And we're hopping into this last set before the middle point. So you got it, come on. 2 minutes here. Keep finding your breath. Again, zone 4 is easier than zone 6. We're coming off a pretty steep effort there. And even though zone 4 is still work, feeling like we might be able to bring down our heart rate just a little bit more in the first few seconds of this set here. So keep it going. Nice deep breath. And I mentioned that the theme for our 90 RPM sets was about body efficiency and control. So you've got your legs down, moving in that nice circle, keeping up with her cadence. They're coming up and attaching to your hips, but you're nice and level above the seat, attached to a nice and engaged core. Means the middle of your body's not going anywhere, staying in one spot, keeping that all under control. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. If they're up here, you might be feeling pretty tense, and it's gonna add up over the course of an hour. So keeping your upper body relaxed, and your arms are just here for support. So we're about 20 seconds out from our zone 5 effort. But all right, here we go, on time. Let's go ahead, add a gear or whatever you need to get up to zone 5. Check on your cadence if you have it in front of you. Hanging out at 90 RPM. And holding this elevated effort. After this, you have your 30 seconds in zone 6. You have a slightly abbreviated recovery But then, yeah, 3 minutes of zone 3 to look forward to. And I personally can't wait. All right, 20 seconds out from our zone 6 effort. Holding strong in zone 5 for now. Thinking about how zone 6 will be your last little push of the first half of this workout. So getting ready for it. If you're standing now, getting ready for your extra gear and putting it on. 30 seconds of push here. Keep up with 90 RPM. It's that level of cadence that wants you to drop down below it. So keep pushing, come on. 10 seconds left, let's go. Three, 2, 1, take off some gear. Free spin recovery for this next interval. And I'll tell you now, I'm shortening your recovery here by about 30 seconds. Has nothing to do with the timer. I'd already planned for that. But because we're backing up to our 3-minute tempo zone, this will keep our body engaged. Our bodies will have more than enough time to come down to that lower zone, treating this kind of as an extended break, honestly. But for the sake of continuing our segments, continuing our RPM ramp up, we're gonna see if we can hold 90 RPM through these next 3 minutes. So go ahead, bring up that pace if you're not there already. And then we're looking for that nice 5 out of 10 effort. Adjust your gears as much as you need to settle into the zone. But once you're here, it should feel like a nice balance between speed in your legs and a decent amount of relative recovery. Of course, we're not in our true recovery zone. We're not doing free spin just now. But you may notice your heart rate coming down just a bit, even lower than that zone 4 effort. And you're starting to breathe easier here. Throughout the total of these 3 minutes, you should feel yourself be able to regain your breath in such a way that you could have a conversation with the person next to you. We touched on this during our warm-up, which is why I had us do a minute in zone 3. So now being back here, this might feel somewhat familiar. A little under 2 minutes left here. Just letting this soak in. A little bit of recovery, breaking up our 8 total sets. And what I'll start to say here is that right after these 3 minutes wrap up, we're hopping right into rep number 5. And we're gonna take reps 5 through 8 all the way to the end. And you may have noticed a trend regarding our RPM. So if you've made a guess for this next round, you might be right. This next 2 reps, we're gonna get up to 100 RPM. And that is the fastest that I'll make you go tonight. I guess to tease our last 2 reps, they'll be rider's choice. I'll advise somewhere between 80 to 100 RPM, but really I'll leave those last 2 sets up to you. So this is your opportunity here to reflect on the first 2 speeds that we've already done, and then to think about how 100 RPM feels to see what you might want to go with for your last 2 sets. But we're not there just yet. This next one I am calling out 100 if it's accessible to you. If not, that's fine. Go back to 90, go back to something that is accessible. Doesn't mean you're getting any less good of a workout. I mostly just call these out so that you can get a little bit of variation in the efforts that you're doing. We're about 10 seconds out here from starting, so go ahead. Let's get our legs up to 100 RPM. Whew, feeling a little fast. And here we go. Holding this higher pace. Again, take away the gears that you need, that once you're at this cadence, gets you back to that zone 4 effort. For these next 2 rounds, your focus will probably be on speed. It's gonna be easy to let your pace slip below 100 because it's just generally faster than your body wants to move. But through all these changes with how much gear you need and your RPM level, you're still feeling that overall effort, those overall zones come through in these intervals. So feeling that work creep back up, obviously getting to a place that's more difficult than our zone 3 work. And we're just under a minute left here. Continuing to breathe. That'll be an important thing as we continue through these reps specifically, our faster ones. Our bodies are just flat out moving more quickly. So our heart and our lungs are doing more of the lift here rather than our legs, which you may feel already on the bike. But so since our heart and our lungs are working, making sure they're getting the oxygen that we need. And we are coming up on our zone 5 work. That'll be a minute in zone 5. So breathing through those efforts as well. Getting ready to add gear. Decide if you want to stand. And we'll get there in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Here you'll feel yourself fighting for that pace. So even if you want to keep both eyes on your cadence and just listen to me through the screen, that's all right. But do what you need to do to make sure you're holding that effort, that zone, in one place. Keep it going here. 30 seconds left. And then we will have our 30-second push in zone 6. So getting ready for your last gear, getting ready for any transitions that you'd like to make, and we'll do them in 10. Last bit before a 90-second recovery. And we are back to 90-second recoveries, I promise. Here we go. Zone 6. Let's get that gear on. Holding 100 RPM, come on. Finding deep breaths for as long as you can. Keeping that relaxed upper body. Letting your legs do the work. And let your upper body stabilize you. Come on. 5 more seconds, you got this. 3, 2, 1, take off those gears. Recover for 90. Hey. Take a deep breath. Let your legs spin free. One more set there at 100 RPM, and then I will not hold it against you if you all choose a lower RPM for your last 2 sets. That's pretty quick. For now, see if you can fit in a sip of water. I'm gonna do the same. And then do any reflections or mini tweaks that you'd like to make for this last guided set. Man, right now it's afternoon for me and the sun kind of sets where the sun shines in this direction. And I see this sunspot on the floor that's creeping towards me. And I figure it'll get to me before we're done here. But for now, let's get back into it. Getting up to 100 RPM, and we're starting set number 6 out of 8. So let's hold our focus strong. Thinking about the efficiency of our bodies on the bikes. Thinking that if there was a straight line that went down the center of ourselves, would it stay even on both sides? Of course, your body has minor movements side to side. I know that mine does. But see if you can try your darndest to keep your body weight in the center. What that means is your energy is moving forward through the bike. All of your energy is centered, and your legs are doing that work to push you forward if you're on a moving bike, instead of side to side and making corrections, essentially laterally on the bike. We want to keep ourselves in this one centered plane. So that's how we're going to get the most bang out of our buck in any given ride. Keep breathing here. We have just about 30 seconds left in this interval before we creep up to the next zone. Keep on holding here. 15 seconds out. Make that decision if you're going to stand for zone 5 and zone 6, or if you're going to sit. I feel like my bike is just too loud to stand up. So I'm going to stay seated, but I'm adding gear now. Let's go. Push and fight for the cadence. If you're seated, if you're standing, hold yourself accountable to that zone 5 effort. If you've been watching your watts on the bike, if that's something that you have, your watts or power, your power will tell all in terms of, are you getting back to zone 5 every time? Keep on pushing here, but if you can, take a quick look at your power, see where you're at now, and once we're back in zone 5, we'll take a look at this again. For now, 15 seconds before we have our 30-second push, and then we can reward ourselves with a nice little break. So focus on this set and this set only, and let's execute. Come on. Next gear, push for just 30 seconds. You got this. Using your legs to get around those pedals, still breathing. I know you can do anything for 30 seconds. At this point, you can do anything for 10. That's all we have left here, so finish strong. Keep on pushing. 3, 2, 1. Take off gears. Slow your legs. 1.5 minutes just for you. Oh man, you guys are doing awesome. And we've already reached our final 2 sets of this ride. While I'm chatting, feel free to get water, do whatever you need to do. But for these last 2 sets, they are a rider's choice. If you found a favorite, 80, 90, 100 RPM, and you want to stick with that, absolutely go for it. If you want to try something new, if you want to go down to 70 RPM or 110 RPM, that's also totally acceptable. I'm not watching you, so feel free to pick your workout. Usually the best ratio balance between strength and speed is in that 80 to 100 range. So that's why I list those, and it's what we've practiced so far. And also, if you want to make each set different, if you want to do this next set one way and our last set the other way, totally go for it. But for now, We're gonna pick our speed. I'm going back to 90. 100 was way too fast for me to hold for these last two. And so once you're at your RPM, add your gear. Getting back to zone 4, second to last time here. And really all that we have is, let's see, each set is about 3.5 working minutes. So we have 7 minutes left of work. I know that after 45 minutes worth of workout, you all have added more than 7 minutes of work before. So I know you can make it through the rest of this one. If you want to grab water during your set, go for it. If you want to just stand up randomly during the set and then rejoin us, go for it. Again, a workout, as well as your overall fitness, is more of a culmination of all your workouts across all time. 1 minute that looks different from what the guidance is doesn't determine whether or not you have a good or bad workout. And on the inverse, showing up day after day, putting in that work over time is what's going to make you stronger. So hopefully you're feeling settled in here. About 30 seconds left for this zone 4 work. Holding your desired cadence nice and steady and making the decision, do I want to stand? Do I want to sit for this last minute and a half of zone 5, zone 6? 10 seconds out, so getting ready. Decide however you want to execute. And let's do it, come on. Gear on. Add that extra power, however you're gonna add it. Keep breathing through this effort. You got this. This is always the most difficult time in a workout. Doesn't matter if you're doing a 1-hour ride or you're doing a 5-hour ride. That 75 to 80% mark is brutal on the psyche, on your mentality. So a lot of what this is just telling yourself that you are stronger than what your brain's telling you, which you are. I know this to be true. Hold on to this for 10 more seconds. Then we'll add our last gear for zone 6, and we get a break. Let's do it, zone 6 push, come on. Keep everything under control. Finding deep breaths through your diaphragm for as long as you can. You are in control here on the bike. Pushing forward, one pedal stroke at a time. Not a race to a finish, just holding on smooth. For 5 more seconds, come on. 3, 2, 1, gears off. Free spin, 90 seconds of all you. Find a deep breath. Maximize this recovery. And then you just have 1 set left. 3.5 minutes of work. And then we go straight to cool down, which is basically zone 1 anyway. We'll have 5 minutes together towards the end of this session. Find your breathing again. See if you can bring your heart rate down. I'm gonna get some water. Yeah, I'm sweaty, all right. This one is a hot one. And this sunspot's getting slowly closer to me, so I'm gradually getting more worried about being fried by it. But we're finishing up this last set here. Gonna start in about 15 seconds. So choose your last speed I'll be back at 90 just to split the middle for us. But however you want to take this on, go ahead and find your cadence. And now get your gear in play. Get back to zone 4 one last time. With this last zone 5 coming up, I'm gonna do my best to remind you to look at your power to see if in our last set, you're getting up to the same watts as where you were earlier. Because again, your body can tell you, yeah, I think I'm working as hard as I was before. I think this feels like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. But in reality, fatigue gets to you. That's just how it happens. That's totally fine. But see if we can check ourselves with fact. Keep it going. Nice and easy, right on your cadence. Again, if both eyes are needed to hold onto this nice RPM that you've chosen for yourself, do it. And we'll get up there in about 3 seconds. So decide how you want to do this last bit of zone 5, and let's hit it. I'm still staying seated because my trainer kind of has this clicky way about it, but even that seated does not feel any easier, I'll tell you that much. Holding this for a full minute here. Last zone 5 push. I'm gonna give you guys the rest of this minute, and then I'll talk us through zone 6. Okay, about 5 seconds out from our last zone 6 push. Last bit of work for this session. Decide how you want to do it. Let's go. Push through those pedals. You got this. And recover. Take off those gears. Slow your legs down. And you get into a smaller gear to get back into zone 1 and let your legs spin freely. For these next 5 minutes, just letting ourselves spin out. Finding that nice, easy zone and free spin, just to flush out some of that lactic acid, because we were working pretty hard today. Taking these first few minutes here just to breathe. Ooh, I guess you can tell in this shirt kind of soaked through just a little bit. This was a very sweaty workout that we did here today. So props to you all for sticking through it. Certainly not easy. But our goal for these last few minutes is just to bring our breathing down, bringing our heart rate into a reasonable spot, giving our legs that opportunity to spin out and ultimately cool down before we hop off the bike. Because if we hop off the bike and if you don't do anything else, that can make your body pretty cold pretty quick and ultimately make you more sore tomorrow. So giving ourselves this extra time just means that we're letting our body come down naturally, and we're gonna pair it with a few stretches for our upper body as well before we jump off to give ourselves the best opportunity to recover. Just another few seconds here. Hopefully by now you will have regained your breathing. If you had a person next to you, you could chat with them, make some conversation. But with our last 3 minutes, I'll go through a few stretches, wrap us up, and we'll call it a day. So if you're ready, if you're feeling good, you can push away from your handlebars if you're not there already. Again, keep your legs moving, nice and easy pace, and then open your arms out wide towards the wall behind you if you have the space for it. I don't quite have that space, but what you should be feeling is a good stretch across your chest. If your arms are extended, they're able to pull some of those chest muscles. Feel your shoulder blades squeezing behind you just to work out that upper body. And then when you flip your hands over, same thing, push back just a little bit further. And then from there, we'll drop our hands behind our back, interlace our fingers, hand towards the ground, chin up towards the ceiling, and down towards our chest. Nice. From here, quick shake out, one arm across our body, pulling it in. Because we have so many opportunities to spin out our legs, I will put that same arm up and over here. We have so many opportunities to spin out our legs, but otherwise our arms are just kind of in one place for the majority of our ride. So that's why I do a lot of these specialized arm stretches, because otherwise we might not get to them. But that same arm goes, the opposite arm goes across our body, tugging it in, and then up and over here. And then just shaking that out, releasing just a little bit longer here on the bike, letting your legs move nice and slow. If you do have stretches that you can do off the bike, especially for your legs, that's always great practice, stretching out your quads, your hamstrings, engaging in some flexibility as well. But in addition to work on the bike, fueling is also a very important part of the whole athletic process. I talk about this in a lot of my videos. So if you can, after this ride, find a nice cold glass of water, maybe some electrolytes if you sweat as much as I did, and a little snack as well. I'll probably go do the same. And congrats on completing our VO2 Max surprise ride. That was some hard work, for sure, and you rocked it. So great job today. And whether you're back on the spin bike next time or riding outside, I'll be wishing you best of luck. And can't wait for our next one. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for riding with me today. If you liked today's video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and save it to a collection for next time. If you want to see more of these, subscribe and get alerted for new videos. And if you have any workouts that you'd like to see, comment them down below. Hope you all had a fantastic ride, and I will see you next time.